Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, I hate that topic A has to be Meghan and Harry. But let's face it, they did the old Oprah Winfrey interview last night, and it's the big topic A, so I have to weigh in. First, I want to point out that I'm not a monarchist. I'm not. However, at the same time, England, the United Kingdom, has decided to keep their monarchy. They love their monarchy and they keep their monarchy. And it's taken its shots over the years. At the same time, it still exists. And it's my personal opinion that Queen Elizabeth has been a wonderful monarch. Although she might come off as stodgy, she is strong as an oak. I also believe that the future of the monarchy in the hands of Kate Middleton and Prince William and their brood is looking good. Class people. Meghan Markle. Do you believe it? Meghan Markle claims that she thinks the palace was concerned about the color of Archie's skin. Really? Really? She actually went there. Also, she acts like, oh, she's poor them. Oh my goodness, oh poor them. Who in the world is going to feel sorry for Meghan Markle? Nobody. Do you? Do I? No. And by the way, this interview, she just burnt the bridge completely in the United Kingdom. And guess what? The only friends that she's got here are the liberals. The liberals. Titles. She's concerned about the titles. Do you realize that the title situation as it relates to little Archie is the same for everybody in the same position as she is? Little Archie is. Too bad. I hope old Harry and Meghan lose their titles, the few that they have. She said she felt trapped. Can you imagine being trapped as a member of royalty? I don't know about you, but I think I can handle being trapped in royalty. She said she would. She played the suicide card. I felt suicidal. Really? What a bunch of hogwash. All the people out there that are really suicidal, and she says that she was suicidal. I think Meghan Markle is the least sympathetic character ever. And we now know, because the palace struck back, that she was a bully. She was a prima donna. The wrong color of red for this. She even said, Kate made her cry. Oh, really? Oh, my God. What a bunch. By the way, I did not watch it. I read the reports. I was not going to watch Oprah Winfrey like Chuck Holbrook did. Not going to happen. Bottom line is, screw Meghan and Harry. Oh, they don't bring up the security. They bring up the security issue is the reason why they had to do these deals and whatnot. What project? I can tell you right now, I could walk out here at the door of Bulldog Media, grab somebody and say, hey, what project would you like to do for Netflix? And it would be better and more entertaining what Harry and Meghan are going to come up with. The Derek Chauvin trial begins today in Minneapolis over the, George Floyd death. And guess what? The rioters show up. They show up with a coffin. It's almost like this. You will find him guilty or we're going to burn down the city. That's the message. It's another example in this country, and I'm sorry, folks, it exists. And I'm going to give more examples as I go through today's show of black privilege. Anybody in America who is black now, when anytime they're cornered or they got an issue, can say race. Can you and I play that card? I can't play that card. I'm white. I don't get to play the black card. There is now black privilege in this country in certain circumstances. A lot of circumstances. Trump versus the GOP. Trump sent a letter to the Republican National Committee, etc., saying, you do not use my name anymore. And you know what? What a kick-ass move. Why? Why should Trump let the GOP raise money on his name if they're going to support Murkowski, Collins, Cassidy, etc. All these people who were against Trump. Trump is throwing his weight around, and I love it. Good for Trump. Andrew Cuomo. Well, over the weekend, 2 more ladies have come out. The state Senate leaders, state legislatures, all these New York leaders are calling for him to resign. He's saying no, no, no. By the way, Cuomo is gangster city. He is gangster city. But it's just going to keep building, 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 building. I'll be honest with you. I hope he doesn't resign so this thing can just keep going and going and going. Chris Cuomo. Did you hear about him? He says that inside he's black. Inside he's really a black person. At least he's been made fun of for making that comment. Can't make it up. Chinese got together in their legislature, and they are going to be mapping out in days to come, allegedly, their next 10 years. First thing I thought of is, okay, how are we going to espionage the United States? Check. How are we going to steal trade secrets? Check. How many spies do we have in the United States? Check. I mean, how they're going to grow their country all involves theft and stealing and all that kind of stuff. Trump versus Murkowski. Trump is going to campaign in Alaska for whoever runs against Murkowski, and I hope it's Sarah Palin. Murkowski has to go. Let's see what happens. Texas versus Biden. Biden is opening up these borders. He is, you know what? The border was completely under control under Trump. And Joe Biden is just creating the chaos. All these officials down there are talking about it. He's creating a nightmare crisis. What does Texas do? Texas says, well, we're going to fight back by our state. So thank God Abbott is fighting back and doing what he can. But folks, it's scary. It's downright scary. You got to ask yourself this question. What does Biden and Democrats, why do they love drug dealers so much? Remember, nobody talks about this. Obama had more to do with this heroin epidemic in this country than any other based upon what he allowed to happen over his 8 years coming into this country. He didn't fight it. What is it? Why the hell do the Democrats love drug dealers? They want heroin. They want fentanyl in this country. Why is that? It's fucked up. It's messed up. A COVID bill. The COVID bill passed. 91% of it has nothing to do with freaking COVID relief. And Joe Biden says he's going to cut poverty in half with this bill. No, he's not. It is just pork, pork, pork. We're up to close to $30 trillion now in national debt. This country has gone off the fiscal freaking cliff. We are. We're off the fiscal cliff. COVID and migrants. Did you hear about this? Apparently 25% of the migrants coming in this country are infected with COVID. You explain the logic why kids aren't allowed to go to school. We're not allowed to travel. We're not allowed to do X, Y, Z. And it's COVID panic. But an illegal immigrant has more COVID rights than we do. Explain that logic. Of course, it's not logical. And again, folks, what's happened in this country over the past month with Joe Biden as president, month and a half, it's on your asses who voted for him. You really didn't think this was all going to happen? You ignored the signs of what Joe Biden was going to do to this country? It is downright scary what Joe Biden's doing to this country. Gavin Newsom, they're up to almost 2 million in signatures for the recall, and it is going to be so. He felt like he was 10 foot tall, bulletproof politically. This is going to be so good to see Newsom fall. You know what? California has so many natural resources. So the long Pacific coast, ports, trade, agriculture, the movie industry, all these things. And Gavin Newsom, along with so many of the others in history, screwed up California. How do you screw up California? How do you screw up New York City, the greatest economic center in the world? How do you screw up Chicago, the Great Lakes port? How do you screw up LA? These incredible strategic places. The Democrats know how to do it. Obama's a homophobe, I guess. He said Buttigieg could never become president because he was gay. Is he going to get beat up for that? Is he? Let's see. This is a story that's interesting. Apparently, McConnell is up to some things that seem to indicate, relative to some laws that they're trying to pass in Kentucky, that he might be interested in retiring. He might be leaving the Senate early. And everybody knows he's going to want to control who the hell runs in his place. Cameron. By the way, those of you that like David Cameron, the Kentucky Attorney General, I want to tell you right now, he is a McConnell stooge. Just so you know, he is a sycophant for McConnell. Fifth Third Bank CEO, this is a little bit of local news, but I want to comment about. Greg Carmichael got a 9% raise in 2020, and he's going to make $9.8 million as the CEO of Fifth Third Bank. Now think about that. He risks none of his money. He's got no skin in the game, and they pay. You wonder, see, this is the kind of thing that feeds the socialists. This is the kind of stuff that feeds it all when they hear about this type of thing. Now, many of you would say, like I sometimes say, well, these pro athletes, they make all that kind of money and they're not running a bank. And it's all the supply and demand, right? Supply and demand. But these CEOs crack me up, what they make and what they do and what they fail to do. Corporate gangsters. This is a weird stat if you didn't see it. Americans drove less than ever in 2020. Way, way down. Yet, more died. 42,000 died last year in car accidents, and increased by 8%. And I think it's the first increase since 2004. Tell me that isn't a weird stat. Less driving, more deaths. How do you explain that? YouTube. YouTube's algorithm is so messed up on race that a chess guy talking about black and white chess pieces got blocked. That's how bad the algorithms are, folks. Mackenzie Scott, Jeff Bezos' ex, 50 years old, married a science teacher. Talk about hitting the jackpot. She looks pretty, she looks smart, and she's only worth $50 billion, I think. Or $35 billion. It's something crazy. A science teacher. But you know what, though? Good for him and good for her. Marrying somebody normal. Sex education. You ready for this? A New York educator thinks kindergartners need sex education. Really? Kindergartners. Let's destroy the innocence of kids as soon as we can. That makes a lot of sense. Boys and girls, this happened over the weekend. They're apparently in California want to eliminate boys and girls sections in stores. Eliminate them. No more boys and girls sections in stores. Why? I mean, makes absolutely no sense, just more the screwed up world that you voted for when you voted for Joe Biden. Louis Farrakhan, you know, you and I get shut down. We get these little special notices. We get in purgatory of Facebook, social media, YouTube, threatening all that. But Louis Farrakhan can say and do whatever the hell he wants on social media. He stays up. Explain that. So you understand all these issues, one after the other, that make absolutely no sense? You know what the answer is to every one of them? Money. Political gangsters. There's some money going someplace. That's the only when things don't make sense, you know there's corruption. That's the bottom line. Cancel culture. Well, Dr. Seuss wasn't enough. Potato Head wasn't enough. Pepe Le Pew and Speedy Gonzalez got to go. Pepe, because he was so forward, Roger, to Mrs. Le Pew. You know, he was so forward with wanting to kiss Mrs. Le Pew that they looked like that was too aggressive. And Speedy Gonzalez is looked at as a stereotype. Really? I don't look at Speedy Gonzalez and say, boy, all Mexicans are faster than hell. Who does that? Who looks at Speedy Gonzalez as a stereotype for a Mexican? Really? Oh, my goodness.
I got to show a little Speedy Gonzalez right now. Let's show it.
Speedy.
Okay.
Good. I love Speedy. Andre. And then last but not least, I saved this little bit for last. There is an Ozark, Missouri realtor who looks like something else. I call them Hyde Park women. No offense to you Hyde Park women, but if you look around Cincinnati, you know what I'm talking about. The Hyde Park women. The Hyde Park Indian Hill women. That look, okay? She looks just like one. Got arrested. You know what for? Offering $1,500. Apparently, she talked to a lot of people about offering $1,500, including to an undercover agent, to whack her mother-in-law. Now, at first, you might say, wow, that's crazy. Well, that's not my point. I'm going to Daryl Parks this one because Daryl Parks always sees what you and I don't see. But I see it on this one. Who in the hell would kill somebody for $1,500? See, it's not that she was trying to kill her mother-in-law. It's just that she was only offering $1,500. Really? I got to ask you this question. If you were a hit man or a hit woman, would you whack somebody for $1,500? I'm sorry, I would be six figures.
Everybody's got their price.
If I ever get in this business, I'm going six figures. Hell, I might even go seven figures depending on the hit. $1,500 to kill somebody in Missouri? I wonder what the rates on Mississippi and West Virginia are. Probably the same. Costs more to whack somebody, I guess, in California. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the Bulldog Show and hit that bell so you'll be alerted when I do other videos. Last but not least, please comment below. I'd love to hear from you.